Warning, the Dub Talk podcast contains language and content that may not be suitable for younger audiences. Listener discretion is advised. There will also be spoilers for various anime throughout the course of this episode. Please use caution in case we discuss a series that you haven't finished yet. Finally, the opinions expressed are those of the individual participants and may not reflect the Dub Talk podcast as a whole. Enjoy the show. Welcome to Dub Talk, the podcast where we discuss the latest and greatest in English dubs. My name is Stephanie, and today I am joined by the Master of Manliness himself, SpacemanHardy.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. It's a pleasure to be here, and might I say, we have a wonderful audience tonight.
We sure do. Today, the two of us are taking a trip back in time. Let's rewind back to 2015. Back to our early podcast days where we were both so sweet and innocent and causing each other suffering on a frequent basis. But, on one fateful day, I was approached by Hardy with a challenge. One that will change our fates forever. During the episode for Ultimate Otaku Teacher, the challenge was whoever predicted the most cast members would subject the loser to an anime of their choosing. And well, we both failed spectacularly. So, we decided to still subject each other to those shows. Do you remember what I gave you?
Yes. You made me watch School Days.
I sure fucking did.
But unlike the show that I gave you, it was not dubbed, and so we will not be covering it today.
If by random happenstance that show ever is dubbed...
Oh, someone wants to dub it. I'm sure there's a studio out there who would be more than happy to do it.
Oh, probably.
The only reason is probably because Discotek just does not want to put any money into it. But I'm sure that there is a studio out there who's like, I will do it. Because it's infamous enough, it has a fan following. But I digress.
Discotek does not want to unleash that monstrosity onto the world, though, and I give them kudos for that.
Well, they did put it on Blu-ray, so
they also did put Kiss on Blu-ray, so listen, they know the audience, but they also don't want to subject people that badly to things, so they have some standards, which is great. We love you, Discotek. Anyway, so fast forward to May of 2024, where I've been listening to the podcast from the beginning while at work. I get to the Ultimate Otaku Teacher episode and relearn this bet that we had. And then an idea popped into my head. And I went to Hardy and asked him, hey, do you remember that bet we did almost 10 years ago? Do you remember what show you gave me? For shits and giggles, do you want to do an episode? And all he says to me is, what the hell? Why not? Now, as for the show in question, originally, and to my delight, like we were saying before, I gave Hardy good old School Days. But for the folks at home, School Days is still without a dub, like we just said, so no, we're not covering that today. That means we're going to be covering the series that Hardy decided to punish me with. Today, we're going to be covering the 2013 series from Studio Arms, Wanna Be the Strongest in the World. If you haven't heard of this series before, here is a quick little summary for you. Famous Japanese pop idol Sakura Hagiwara is better suited for the dance floor than the wrestling ring. When she and fellow idol Elena are assigned to pose as wrestlers for a very special show, a vicious lady brawler by the name of Rio decides to teach the girls a lesson. Rio unleashes a flurry of ferocious attacks on Elena. Shocked by the blush-inducing beating taken by her friend, Sakura vows to get her body ready to rumble and redeem the good name of idols everywhere by becoming a bona fide diva of the pro wrestling world. Yeah.
Which evolves into a lot of screaming.
You can believe it. Yup. A lot of screaming, a lot of crotch shots, a lot of cleavage.
This was
Hardy
done by
said
Arms for a
yesterday
reason.
Yeah, Hardy, you were saying yesterday that you forgot how much this had the vibe of torture porn.
This was made for a very specific audience in mind.
It sure was.
Yeah.
It's not us, but it sure was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sweet baby Jeebus. Alright, so as usual, we're gonna be covering, we're gonna cover the show in this match from beginning to end, talking about the characters, the staffing, the English dub, and give our thoughts and opinions along the way. Oh man. Hardy.
Yes.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Let's get ready to rumble!
You can do it a lot better than I can.
It's all about that dragging out that L at the beginning. Let's get ready to rumble! Yeah.
It is. Alright, so why don't we get started with, of course, our ADR director and our script writers. We actually have two. Fun fact, as I was doing a quick search on ANN, apparently I found the press release of when the cast was announced. This was announced the same time as the English dub cast for fucking Ping Pong the animation, apparently. Mm-hmm. So that's a stark contrast, but I digress. Our ADR director for this show, I miss this man directing things at what was Funimation. Joel McDonald, who has directed other series such as Assassination Classroom, Red Data Girl, and Just For You, Hardy. Bento.
Right. Sadly, that has been removed from Crunchyroll.
Ah, damn. We'll never get to do that one then. Fuck. That would have been, that's another fun one.
Yeah.
As for our writers, we have Clint Bickham, who has written for scripts such as shows such as Barakamon, Love After World Domination, and Ultimate Otaku Teacher. Mm-hmm. And we have Sean Whitley, who has written for shows like Cat Planet Cuties, Mushishi, and Trinity Blood.
So it's just kind of all over the place.
It is all over the place. Though Sean Whitley, from my understanding, doesn't have a super amount of writing credits, I don't think. It's decent, but it's not super extensive either. He also did, some episodes of things like Seki Ray, Rosario plus Vampire, things like that.
A lot of the ecchi type of shows.
Yes, quite a bit of ecchi type of shows. And Clint Bickham is all over the place, generally speaking. So, how do we want to start this off? What do we think of the directing and writing of this show?
Directing overall is fine. There are a few wooden performances here and there, but it's mainly relegated to sort of secondary characters.
Yeah.
When it gets dramatic, it gets loud, and a lot of these performances are very, very loud in a very specific way that I will get into later. As far as the writing is concerned, it's decent, but it can get very on the dramatic side. A bit. Honestly, pro wrestling is a bit over dramatic in its own self, so it's rather fitting.
I'm about to say, like, I haven't watched a lot of like pro wrestling now, but when I was little, I did watch a little bit of like WWE and things, and I remember how dramatic it can be. So if the melodrama kind of fits with the show, so I do appreciate that. But I agree, it can sometimes be a little over dramatic at times. What I do like about the script, though, is the amount of fucking trash talk that happens in this. That happens between the wrestlers. It has some fun moments. Freaking Ryo Kazuma has some of my favorite goddamn lines, including "You idiots act tough, but pussy out in the end."
Yeah, that's definitely goes with the pro wrestling thing. See, here's the thing about pro wrestling is, unlike this show, it's actually scripted.
Right.
Yeah, and so basically it's one big sweaty soap opera.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to go big or go home. when it comes to like these big dramatic speeches and over dramatic moments, because you're putting on a show for the audience. It's not. It's it's its own sort of. It's both. It's not fake, but it is scripted.
Yeah, showmanship is always a big thing in the wrestling world.
And so it's sort of like a combination. It's sort of like a combination between like a Broadway theater play and an actual athletic sport.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because of the comparison. Yeah, in a way, yeah. You have these big budget, extravagant type of musicals, yeah. And especially if you're in a musical that involves a lot of like choreography and stuff, that's no joke either. So there's a lot of athleticism involved there too. So yeah, you can, as much as I laugh, the comparison is pretty accurate, honestly. I forgot how trashy this can be, and because I went into this being like, okay, this is trash, I'm at least gonna try and enjoy myself, and then I kept forgetting some of the shit that happens in this show, and I'm like, well, damn, okay, alright, what's going on here? Okay, yep, okay, I want you to know, or I want it to be known, because I mentioned this to you already, the show, we already alluded to it, it's not afraid of fan service.
Not one bit.
Not by a long shot. Women being in some rather suggestive positions, and holds, and pins, and things like that, and they're wearing some very revealing costumes. And I'm not gonna lie, the first note I put when I started watching this show earlier in the week, all I wrote was boobs with exclamation points at the end. And I even kept a tally of how many like shower scenes we had, because ladies and gentlemen, if you watch this show on Crunchyroll or you buy the home video release, this shit is uncensored. So you get the boobs and nipples and all, and I counted 4 instances where we got full-on nipples, boys and girls. I'm like, Jesus Christ, I forgot how uncensored this was. And apparently, I guess there's an OVA as well. I didn't get to watch it.
I've seen the OVAs. They go all out.
I didn't get to watch it because it's not available for streaming. It's only on the home video.
The only character whose boobs you don't see is Moe, thankfully, because she's underage.
Yes, when we were introduced to Moe, I won't lie, my brain is like thinking, I'm like, I swear to God, Japan, if you sexualize this minor to the nth degree, we have a problem. And they didn't go full-fledged, like, naked boobs. And her costume is actually pretty conservative, all things considered, which is good. Which is good. There's not a lot of cleavage for her. It's more like her in a sports bra, which is fine. So, directing-wise, I think this show is, for the most part, relatively solid. Like, I agree with you. There are some... I can't believe I'm using this phrasing. There's some stiff performances.
Oh my.
There's some stiff performances in this show. Again, primarily from the secondary cast. To the credit of some of this cast, though, I think around this time there are a few names that we didn't see very often pop up in the dubbing sphere. So you can argue that some of these folks are relatively new at the time, and we'll kind of get to more and more of them throughout the course of the show. So for a lot of the ladies who were a part of this show, it could be kind of seen as a training wheels dub for them, if that was the case. So it makes a lot of sense in my mind. But there is some fun and interesting casting involved throughout the whole course of the show. And there's one in particular that I know I'm pretty sure you and I both love and are like, why did she disappear and she hasn't come back to do things? We were both so sad, like, oh no. Oh no. This means we gotta rewatch Assassination Classroom. We gotta do that. Yeah, I don't know if you had any other thoughts on the directing and writing, because I think, overall, I think it's fairly solid for what it is.
For a 2015 dub, yeah. I mean, there were better and worse dubs that came out that year, so.
Yeah, this one's probably on the, like, mid to, like, low tier, if I had to, like, put it somewhere.
Right.
But that's also mostly because of the show itself.
Right.
At the same time.
We're not filming Casablanca here, so.
No, this isn't Gone with the Wind either, so. Or Citizen Kane. What other classic movies are there? There's a lot.
Pootie Tang.
Pootie Tang. Black Dynamite.
Hey, no, Black Dynamite's genuinely great.
Did you watch it?
Black Dynamite? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched Dolomite yet. That's on my list. I'll probably do that tomorrow.
That's the one I'm thinking of. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. For a little bit of context for the folks at home, we are on a Discord server with a bunch of folks, and we're doing Recommend or Die. This is actually the first time I'm doing Recommend or Die. They've been doing it every month for like several months now. You have to watch Dolomite.
Mm-hmm.
Amon challenged you to watch Dolomite. Patrick challenged me to watch Phantom of Paradise or something.
Something
which
like
is
that.
this like which is this like Phantom of the Opera rock opera kind of iteration. I'm like, I've never heard of this before in my goddamn life. I might watch it later when Andrew's home, because he was morbidly curious as well. But anyway,
yeah, and meanwhile, I made Amon play Double Dragon Neon, so.
Oh yeah,
because
I gave Patrick Come From Away.
Mm-hmm.
Because I gotta start giving these folks some education in theater and musicals. God damn it, someone's got to do it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking
and there's
of
a pro shot on Apple TV.
Yeah, speaking of musicals, should we head on to our pop idols?
Ooh, that's a perfect segue. Let's do it. Our first group of characters, save for technically two. We're gonna talk about the ladies of Sweet Diva. Sweet Diva is the pop idol group that Sakura Hagiwara is a part of, or then becomes formally a part of, and then, I don't know, things get complicated. But we're gonna talk about three of the main girls from Sweet Diva. We will obviously get to Sakura, and we're actually going to get to Elena much later on. So we have Nanami Kano, Aki Hayase, and Yuho Mochizuki. These three wonderful, lovely ladies. As Nanami Kano, we have Michelle Lee, who has voiced characters such as Origami Tobichi in Date Alive, Rosemary and Mary Rose in Shadow's House, and the narrator from Divine Gate. As Aika Hayase, it's Kristen Sutton, who has voiced characters like Yuki Hosokawa from Chiyo School Road, Ayumi Uesaka from My First Girlfriend is a Gal, and Shiro from The Helpful Fox Senko-san. And as Yuho Mochizuki, we have Didi Archila. She has voiced characters such as Sue from A Centaur's Life, Hinata Okamo in Assassination Classroom, and Hana Kazuki from Chaos Child.
These three did nothing for me.
They were kind of there.
They were just there, yeah, in the background.
Yeah, because, like, while the main storyline involved Sakura, there's this kind of secondary storyline, and it centers around Elena throughout the whole course of the show. Because when Sakura leaves, Elena gets to be the lead vocalist of Sweet Diva and is in charge of everything. And a lot of it is her struggle with the whole situation because she lost her rival in Sakura. Yeah, these three are kind of there. I would say Aika and Yuho more so. Michelle Lee and Nanami's character. I like Michelle Lee as Nanami, first of all. But Nanami has a bit more patience and is a bigger support for Elena, trying to kind of like get her to see what she's doing to some extent. Elena doesn't listen half the fucking time. But as this kind of like calming force, this calming force that is like bending an ear to try and listen to these problems. That's essentially Narumi's character, and I do like Michelle Lee in that role. Kristen and Dee Dee were fine. They're fine.
I think I did mention some of the more stiff performances, and it mainly came from these two, honestly. They were there, I guess. They didn't really make any sort of lasting impression.
Yeah, they didn't make a huge impression. I think the most that they had to do, aside from just being a part of Sweet Diva, is I think the most that they had was there was this one interaction that Elena has. I think it was with Yuho, the redhead. Yuho kind of had a misstep during like rehearsals or something. Mm-hmm. And Elena kind of like ragged her out for it a little bit. I got angry. And both Nanami and Aika are just like, what the fuck is your problem? It's like, she's doing the best she can. What are you doing? What's wrong with you? Sakura wouldn't be like this. And of course, you say the word Sakura and Elena's like, fuck. I think that's the most that Aika and Yuho really do. So the trio themselves are not super memorable. They're fine, but you can probably tell that at the time they were kind of relatively like green. Mm-hmm. Because I never recall Dee Dee at all, and Kristen Sutton, I think I've seen anyway, has gone on to do more fun and dynamic roles ever since this. And then Michelle Lee. I mean, Michelle Lee did Shadow's House, and I loved her in season 2, especially of Shadow's House, where Rosemary and Mary Rose got to do a lot more in that season. But yeah, it's there's not a lot to really talk about with these three because they're not there a super amount. They're supportive and fun stuff, but like nothing crazy. Mm-hmm. They get to sit there and look pretty sometimes. Right. And thankfully their vocal cords, they don't have to worry about screaming. Right. Yeah. Compared to the rest of the cast. Speaking of, I don't know, is there anything else you wanted to say about these three, or you want to
Not really.
Move on? This section got very short very fast. Mm-hmm. But
sort of like Sakura's win streak.
Yep.
We'll get to that.
60-something losses?
65,
before she won? Yep. Mm-hmm. Speaking of those losses, let's talk about the girls from the Berserk gym. There are at least 4 who either have a prominent role or are just recurring in the course of the show. I'm gonna go backwards on this. We have Moe Fukuoka. She kind of comes in at the second half of the show after Sakura gets her first win. And Moe is just so inspired by Sakura. She's like, I want to be a wrestler too. She's the high school girl that thankfully is not super sexualized. Thank you, Japan, for that. But she's also a karate master. She's like a world champion karate master or something. That's brought up like quite a few times. Mm-hmm. So those skills end up lending themselves very well for her in the ring. We have Kureya Komayami. She is part of the Berserk team as well. I kind of view her as more of like the punk rock kind of aesthetic for her character. And she's a fun support as well, mostly to Rio. We'll get to Rio in a second. Then we have Chinatsu Suzumoto, another member of the Berserk team. You see her more often with Sakura than anyone. She kind of befriends Sakura throughout the whole course of the show, and will spar with her, train with her, all this kind of fun stuff. And then we have the reason why this show exists. This bitch. Rio Kazuma. Rio Kazuma is the reason why this show and this plot moves along. She's the reason why Sakura ends up becoming a pro wrestler. So, Rio, this bitch, so as I we were talking about in the summary. So Sakura and Elena go on a job for Sweet Diva to pose as wrestlers, and it happens to be at the Berserk Gym. Elena starts trash-talking wrestlers, right? Rio comes in, is like, you want to say that to my face? Basically, like, destroys Elena. And then Sakura decides to challenge Rio. And she does, and gets her ass handed to her. And then Sakura decides, you know what? I want my revenge. I'm going to become a pro wrestler. And that's how everything gets jump-started. All to get a revenge match with Rio. And if she wins against Rio, Rio has to apologize to Sweet Diva and to idols everywhere, and because she trash-talked idols in general. But Rio kind of ends up, not just, she's a tough badass, but she kind of ends up, like, slowly forming, she's the first real, like, pro wrestling rival that Sakura gets. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting how their dynamic shifts after their revenge match. But anyway, Moe Fukuoka is voiced by Christina Valenzuela, who has voiced characters such as Lucy Maud Montgomery in Bungo Stray Dogs, Killua Zoldek in Hunter x Hunter, and Vivi in Vivi Fluorite's I Song. Kureya, I can't pronounce this girl's name, is voiced by Morgan Garrett, credited as Morgan Garrett at the time. She normally goes by Morgan Le Ray now. She has voiced characters such as Ayame Shaga in Bento, Akira Mato in Tokyo Ghoul, and Nadeshiko Kagamihara in Laid Back Camp. Completely different from what she has here. Shinatsu is voiced by Anastasia Munoz, who has voiced characters like Monami in Danganronpa 3: The End of Hope's Peak Academy. I'm going to mispronounce the last name, so you're going to have to help me. Kyōko Hekmatar?
Yeah. Her name is Kyōko. She is local. I say, oh no.
Yes, from Yomengun. I still need to watch Yomengun. And, I don't know why I picked this one. Here we go. Imano Tsurugi. There we go. From Token Ranbu Hanamaru. And Rio Kazuma is voiced by Martha Harms, who has voiced characters such as Irina Yelovic from Assassin's Classroom, Haruka Oma from Guilty Crown, and Marlene from the Funimation dub of The Vision of Escaflowne. I feel like we can get at least the easier ones out of the way first. Anastasia and Morgan, right?
Right.
Morgan kind of exists, is another one that kind of exists, but she has like this punk rock kind of vibe, and I like that. It brings a fun dynamic to the cast of the Berserk Girls, and then Anastasia brings a completely different tone for Chinatsu, because she looks like a relatively normal girl compared to
everyone else.
Korea and Rio. Yeah, comparatively.
Yeah.
But Chinatsu is also trash talk all day, every day, and I love it.
Well, she's actually, sort of actually makes a bond with Sakura. Korea just sort of never really gets along with her until the very end, so I guess.
No, yeah. Mm-hmm. I think after the revenge match with Rio, Korea kind of starts to warm up slowly but surely, but you don't really see that relationship grow that much. She's more usually associated and attached to Rio 9 times out of 10. So they're kind of in a similar mindset and a similar like attitude, which makes for a fun dynamic. Because I think, if I'm correct, Sakura, Chinatsu, Korea, and Moe are in the Rookie League. It's never fully stated where Rio is, I don't think, but she's not in the Rookie League, I think.
No, she is not.
Yeah, that makes the most sense, because Moe ends up debuting in her match against Sakura, and then it's been made known through the rookie matches, that rookie showcase that they had in the second half of the show after Mizuki bust her foot. And Chinatsu, Korea, and Sakura each take part in that set of matches. Rio does not. So, yeah. But I like Chinatsu, and her relationship with Sakura is a lot of fun. I think Anastasia brings a fun dynamic to the group. And Morgan gets to be this punk rocker. chick, and it's always a delight for her to take on this tough girl persona, honestly.
Moe.
I'm about to say, did you have anything else for the other two? And okay, that answers that question. I was taking some water. Moe.
Very fitting name for this character.
The high schooler Moe. Christina Valenzuela. It's rare for her to be in, at least at the time, a Funimation dub. It's very rare for that to happen. And I don't know if there was any other shows that she probably got tapped to do. Because she would have needed to be down in the Texas area to have recorded this in 2015. Right.
Yeah, because this was way before, COVID effed the world up and we all had to go remote recording for a year or two.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think offhand, like, what other shows
she was in Dragon Cry.
Fuck, you right. It would have recorded around that time. It probably would have recorded around that time because Dragon Cry was released probably in... Oh, God, when was it?
Because we went to see it together. Was it 2017?
We were in Dallas.
2017?
It was either 2016 or 2017. I think it was I want to say it was the first time we were down in Dallas together.
Yes. So
that might have been in 2016. I think.
I don't know, it was 2017. No, because we went 3 years in a row, 2017, 2018, 2019, and then COVID. So...
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I keep forgetting we went 3 times. Because we did... Because it was only a handful of us the first time. That was the year you and Noah surprised the girls. And then the second year, we had a much larger group. That was the year Andrew graduated college. I remember now. And we were at a B&B, one B&B to Star before we, I think it was the B&B first, and then...
The hotel.
And then the third year was a different B&B we went to. And that was when, that makes sense, because Andrew and I had started dating by that point, and you wanted to use spray bottles on all 3 of the couples at that time.
Yeah.
You were like, motherfuckers! You're like, not allowed! I'm like, oh, thanks, Dad! Can't tell me what to do, Dad! I'm a grown adult! I'm a big kid now, god damn it! Oh, Christ, we need to do a con together again sometime. Fucking hell.
One of these... Come to Memphis! We will take you to the big Bass Pro Pyramid!
Oh, yeah, that's right! We just can't take Gigi.
Right.
Gigi would not be good with that.
Yeah. We'll take you to get some...
We would have to leave Gigi home.
Gus's famous fried chicken.
Yeah! That place you accidentally messaged me about today.
It's some good chicken, I don't lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, so he does like a game night with a couple of other folks in the area on Saturday nights. But he messaged me this morning on accident. He was like, "What do you guys want from Gus's? I'll get it." And I'm like, "Wrong chat, my guy." He's like, "Shit." I woke up, I look, I'm like, Hardy had sent us at like, I think it was like 7:30, 8:30 my time. And I'm like, bro, you sure you're not trying to get in touch with someone else? Are you coming to visit me up here in Connecticut? What's happening here? Is there something you're not telling me?
It's a good chicken, I ain't gonna lie.
You're like, don't offend the chicken, god damn you, Steph. I'll kick your ass, god damn, Steph. Don't offend Gus's. That's the vibe I'm getting right now. Like, fuck you, man. Oh my god.
Anyways.
Anyway. Back to Christina Valenzuela. No, that makes sense. If it was Dragon Cry, that makes a lot of sense. For that being what she could have recorded at the same time, or around the same time. Because that means it was... Dragon Cry released in theaters then in 2017, if that's correct. Because we saw it the first year we went, I think, right?
Yeah.
Because the second year when we had the larger group, I think the boys went to...
Cowboy Bebop.
Bebop the movie, and the girls went to round 1 for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
We had fun. Anyway, But no, Christina Valenzuela. Moe! What do you think?
I don't know if you're familiar with this character, but Moe gives off very distinct Yuffie Kisaragi vibes.
Where is that from? I feel like I should know.
Final Fantasy VII.
Never mind. Of course it's Final Fantasy. Never mind! Oh wait, isn't Yuffie in the remake, that's the character that Susie Young plays, right?
Right.
Okay. Now I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Yep, got it. I haven't played Final Fantasy at all. I've tried playing some of the original, but I haven't gone back to it in years. And I never touched the remake before. But anyway, I digress.
Mm-hmm.
No, okay, I can see the vibe. I can see the vibe that I'm picking up what you're putting down. No, I see that. Moe has this fun, spunky attitude to her, and I think Christina matches that very well. Again, thankfully, she doesn't get a lot of fan service moments, which is awesome. 'Cause again, ladies and gentlemen, she's a fucking high schooler. I don't know why you're allowing high schoolers to become pro wrestlers, but okay, guys. All right, Uncle Inoba. That's his name, right? Inoba?
Something like that,
That's the uncle's name. Where are you? Inoba. Uncle Inoba, why are we allowing a high schooler to become a pro wrestler? Isn't that something you should put, like, at least a limit on, like, maybe 18 years or older? Like, oh, I digress. Anyway, but, no, yeah, Moe has this spunky attitude to her, and I think Christina matches it very, very well. She also, I feel like she has, you could see some traits in her that you originally see Sakura have starting out, this, like, sense of naivete. But unlike Sakura, she learns very quickly, how things work. I find it hilarious. I think one of the funniest scenes for Moe is, her sparring match with Sakura, like her first day or something. And, Sakura's running through in her head like, okay, I'm gonna do this, this, and this, and then when she breaks free, I'm gonna tell her, yeah, this is pro wrestling. And Moe breaks free. She's like, wow, this is definitely pro wrestling. And I'm like, I'm laughing my ass off. And because Sakura's just like, well, damn, she stole my spiel. Because she was going to say the exact same shit that Mizuki told her to.
Sort of like a reverse Joseph Joestar.
I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, this is pro wrestling.
This is pro wrestling. Oh, how did you know?
How did you know? Oh, Jesus Christ. This is pro wrestling. That's the freaking tagline, is this is pro wrestling. Because this ends up being, what, the third time that line gets used?
Something like that.
Jackal uses it on Mizuki. Mizuki uses it on Sakura. Sakura attempts to use it on Moe, but Moe comes out and says it instead. Going down the line of succession. Oh my god. But no, I enjoyed Christina. She's a little spunky, little
ball of energy.
Oh, such a ball of energy. She comes in to Berserk Gym for the first time and fucking pisses Rio off to no end. Mm-hmm. She's like, what the hell are you doing, kid? Why are you here? What is wrong with you climbing up on top of everything? Moe's just like, Moe is, Berserk Gym for Moe is fucking Disney World, is what this is. She's like, ooh, I wanna touch it. Can I touch it? That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah. And she's the type who would touch it after eating Doritos.
Yeah. Get the
crumbs.
The cheddar ones with like, so she'll have the cheddar dust on her fingers, like, ooh. Get like dust all over the fucking punching bag and the ropes of the ring. Like, ooh. God damn it. She's a kid in a candy store is what's happening here. Or a kid gone to Disney World. I want to go to Disney World. Christ. I found her delightful. I don't know how you feel about Moe.
She's fun. She can get a bit on the irritating side. after long doses.
Yeah.
But yeah.
She can. But I don't think it ever really, like, toes the line too far to being super obnoxious, which is good. Christine was able to, like, rein it in on occasions when it can get, like, to that point. It's a light, though. God, what a fucking ball of energy this girl is. But speaking of energy...
I think Martha Harms is a very good coincidence for a last name. Because she definitely does some harm in this show.
Oh, she sure fucking does. Rio has attitude and sass for fucking days. She has attitude for days. And she's I find her to be very passionate about wrestling. That's why she took to offense very quickly when Elena was trash-talking pro wrestling in the start of the show. And Rio's just like, I'm gonna show you fuckers what's up, man. Come at me, bro. I'll kick your ass. And she does. She really hands it to him. Very much so. But I think we both were thinking the same thing when we started watching the show again.
Where has Martha gone?
Where has she been? I'm so sad. I miss her.
She was in a whole bunch of dubs around 10 years ago. And she just vanished.
Yeah, she disappeared. I'm pulling up stuff right now. Trying to see if there's at least anything relatively recent that she might have done.
There's not. I looked over it. She hasn't been a dub for in like 8 or 9 years.
Yeah, a lot of it is older stuff. No, yeah. It makes me very sad because Martha is a phenomenal actor, first and foremost. And she, in this dub, is probably among some of my favorite performances in the show, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, Rio has the attitude. She has the bark, and she can back it up with her bite. Like, she takes no prisoners. And at the same time, Rio wants kind of what Sakura wants, but for a different avenue. Sakura wants Rio to respect the world of idols. Rio wants Sakura to respect the world of pro wrestling. And I think after their rematch, they kind of come to that understanding when Sakura does end up beating Rio. I miss Martha.
I miss Martha too. Hopefully, if there's ever any new Assassination Classroom project, they can bring her back in or something like that. I don't know.
That would be fun. Did you have any other thoughts on Martha?
Oh, no. I like her just fine. She's great. I do know that if this had been recorded in this day and age, they probably would have gotten an actress of color. But yeah.
That's the only thing, yeah.
I don't know if Rio is supposed to be black or not, but I think she's just like tan. But I think Martha does great.
Rio's definitely, I think, one of my favorite performances in the show. 100%.
Yeah, one of my favorite characters in the show.
Oh yeah, Rio's such a badass. I fucking love her. You don't fuck with Rio. She will lay your ass out flat. 100% she will. Is there anything else about these Berserk ladies that we wanted to say before we move on to the next group?
I think we're good. I think we can go on to the top dogs now.
Yeah, I told you, I think I lovingly call this group the Old Guard. Because these are essentially the older generation of wrestlers who either end up as mentor figures, world champions, or in one person's case, a sports journalist. We have Misaki Toyoda. She is the strongest wrestler of the Berserk Gym. She takes part in the Shangri-La, I think, right? I think they say they.
We know Jury does.
We know Jury does and Jackal does. It's not explicitly stated that Misaki does, though. But the implication is there.
Right.
That she takes part.
Mm-hmm.
But Misaki is the top fighter of the Berserk Gym, and she ends up becoming Sakura's mentor partway through the show. We have Kanae Fujishita. She is a sports journalist who covers a lot of the pro wrestling world, but we do also find out that she used to be a pro wrestler herself, and I believe it was an injury to her back that might have forced her to retire.
It was. Yeah. Yeah, she and Misaki and Juri were all a trio.
Correct. Yeah. There's some old photos of there's an old photo that we see of the three of them together. We have Jackal Tojo. She is the world champion pro wrestler, in the Shangri-La Pro Wrestling League. She comes halfway through the show to visit Japan and also have an exhibition match with Misaki. However, during a separate match, Misaki sustains a leg injury and is not able to take part in the match. So Jackal decides, I'm going to choose my replacement opponent through this whole rookie match that you have, and she ends up picking Sakura. So
she hands her tail to her. It ain't even close.
It ain't even fucking close. But she makes it a show out of it. And Sakura gets to kind of learn a little bit more lessons through that match with Jackal. Finally, we have Juri Sanada. She is the head of the Miyabi Gym, a separate gym that she established herself. She is also a pro wrestler from the Shangri-La League. She retired technically, I think, to start this gym, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong, though.
Not sure. We do know that she is Elena's trainer behind the scenes.
Correct. We'll get to more of that with Elena. But Juri also assumes the identity of the Blue Panther, kind of. Again, we'll get to that later. But Juri kind of has more of a role in the second half of the show. These four lovely ladies, as Juri, we'll start there. It's Megan Shipman, who has voiced characters such as Adachi Sakura and Adachi and Shimamura, Snow White from Magical Girl Raising Project, and of course, Little Anya Forger from Spy Family. Anya, this is not. Jackal Tojo, that's Lydia McKay, who has voiced characters such as Flame from Frieren, Beyond Journey's End, Boa Hancock from One Piece, and Patty Milford from Shin-Chan. As Kanae, we have Bryn April, who has voiced Historia Reese in Attack on Titan, Himari Momochi in The Demon Prince of Momochi House, and Cyan from Show by Rock. And as Misaki, we have Leah Clark, who has voiced characters like Yukiko Kanzaki from Assassination Classroom, Saki Morimi from Eden of the East, and Minami Toba. I have extra roles. Minami Toba in Laid Back Camp, and Blair from Soul Eater.
You're forgetting one. You're forgetting one big one. She's Toga.
All right. Oh, that's true. I thought we were going to talk about jacking off into a bottle of formaldehyde again.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Hummingbird. But no, she is Toga in My Hero Academia. I did completely forget that one. Anyway, I don't know where you want to start. Where do you want to start?
Honestly, Juri had the least amount of screen time, and it didn't sound like Megan's best performance, to be perfectly honest. She was still pretty new at this time. So, Juri kind of sounds a bit phoned in, honestly. But then again, she doesn't have a whole lot of screen time.
Yeah. It's not anything too crazy. But I think you're right. This is probably around the time when Megan Shipman was just kind of starting to come into prominence, or barely. So there's still a lot this could be seen more as a training wheels project for her. Which is fine. Which is 100% fine. It's not among one of the stronger performances, though. That part is definitely true. She does... I do like the moment that she has as Blue Panther, though. Where she's calling out Sakura. I do like that. But any other than that, it was pretty... God, I want to say cookie cutter. But for a wrestling show, what the fuck is cookie cutter anyway?
Exactly.
Like, okay. But no, I agree. Megan Chipman probably isn't the strongest performance. At least, definitely not the strongest out of this group. That's for sure.
Yeah. No, I'm actually very, very surprised how mature Bryn sounded in this dub, considering.
Yes.
I don't even think she was 20. I don't even think she was 20 years old at this point, because she made her debut in
Red Data Girl.
In Red Data Girl 2014. She was still in high school.
She was probably, if that was the case, you said 2014, so she would have. She was still in high school. I don't know the exact age, but no, the fact that Bryn, especially early on in her career, she was able to go from the cute girl voices like Cyan, and to an extent like I can't remember the character's name from Red Data Girl offhand.
Izumiko. Izumiko. Yeah. Izumiko.
Yeah. Yep. And like those characters, and then we go to Kanae, which is completely different change in her tone. That is surprising in and of itself, and especially so early on in her career, it showed a lot of versatility and potential that she has to play more than just the cutesy characters, and I do appreciate that a lot, honestly.
And then Lily, what is there more to say about Lydia McKay? She's been in the business a long time. Fun fact, she was actually played a role in the live-action Chuck E. Cheese in the Galaxy 5000.
Oh my god, for real?
For real.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's pretty much a legend at this point.
Oh, 100%. She's been at this for so long. Now I gotta see this. Chuck E. Cheese and what?
In the Galaxy.
Oh, in the Galaxy from 1999, huh? Oh my god. Oh my god. Video. I'm just looking at IMDb. I'm like, I gotta see this shit. Chris Kaysen was in this, apparently.
Chris Sabat was Mr. Munch.
Oh my god. This is insane. Well, it looks like these are under different names, though, according to IMDb. Hold on, let's find.
Well, anyways,
TVA. I'm sorry. Now we're putting me in a rabbit hole. Hold on. Oh yeah, this is the origin of where we found out fucking Duncan Brennan was Chuck E. Cheese.
Yep.
I remember this now. Yep, Mr. Munch was Sabat. And the narrator, I guess. Yeah, they don't have a full list, just a handful. Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious. I forgot this was a thing that existed. Anyway. No, Lydia McKay has this commanding presence for Jackal. And it works so well because Jackal is the world champ. And she has this, like, strength and confidence about her that I just adore.
Oh yeah, she is the alpha witch. So, and she's gonna let you know it.
She sure fucking is. Holy crap. If Rio has the bite to back up her bark, Jackal will just destroy you.
Okay.
She would just destroy you, lay you out flat, call it a day. And be like, hey, you want some more? And you'd be like, no, thanks, I'm good. Too bad! Smack. But no, she also, she kind of ends up taking on a mentor role to an extent as well. For Sakura, because she sees a lot of herself in her. Which, it's funny how this worked. How this freaking mentorship worked. Jackal was Mizuki's mentor because she saw a lot of herself in Mizuki. Mizuki is Sakura's mentor because Mizuki saw a lot of herself in Sakura. And then you have Jackal, who sees Sakura in the rookie match and sees a lot of both herself and Mizuki in Sakura. Hence why she decides, I'm going to challenge this girl as the replacement for the exhibition match. So, which is also very encouraging. for Sakura. It's like, what do you plan to do now? She's also the one who ends up coming with the idea to resolve everything at the end of the show.
With the easiest freaking decision possible.
Yup.
It's the little taco. It's the little Mexican girl in the taco commercial saying, "Why not both?"
And I think it's the paste commercials, right? The paste salsa.
Yeah.
Why not both?
Yay!
Yay!
Not to get insensitive, just putting that out there.
No, it's the meme, but it's fucking true.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true. It's the easiest resolution you could ask for. It's like, why did nobody else think of this before Jackal? It makes Jackal the most sensible one out of the whole goddamn show. It's not even funny. I love Lydia.
Mm-hmm.
I love Lydia a lot. Were you about to talk about Mizuki?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Leah Clark's no slouch too. She's been in the business for a long time, and it's nice it's nice to see her play sort of this mentor role, as opposed to some of her either more unhinged roles like Hummingbird and Toga, or her more cutesy roles like in what is it? I think was she in Laid Back Camp? I can't remember.
She is, but she's one of the mentors. She's one.
She's the alcoholic.
She's the alcoholic.
That's right.
That's Leah. That's Leah. She's the alcoholic mentor advisor.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe not so cutesy along those lines.
Right. No, she was in New Game.
Yes. She was
the blonde hair.
Was that her? Oh yeah, I'm thinking of the owner of the gaming company, but that's I think Terry Doty, right? The girl, the long hair, glasses.
No, that's that's not Terry Doty. That's what is her name again? Let me look it up. We're getting sidetracked. I'm sorry. Carly Mosier.
That's who it is. Listen, we're making good on time. I think we're allowed to sidetrack, divulge a little bit here.
Yeah, Leah played Yoon, which is one of the 4 programmers, and she was.
You right. She's the foil to Tia Ballard's Hajime. That's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. And then Carly Mosier was Hazuki. That's who I'm getting mixed up. Why did I think Terry Doty was in this? Maybe because they sound similar to me in that regard? That's probably why. I haven't watched New Game in a long ass time. I should fix that.
Mm-hmm. It's a good show to go back to.
It is. There's a lot of good shows to go back to at some point. But there's still too many shows in general. I have my running list of shows I gotta fucking watch.
Too many shows. Too many shows. There's too many shows.
I'm in the middle of... What am I in the middle of? I'm in the middle of fucking... Frieren. I'm in the middle of Frieren.
I didn't realize Frieren was so long. It's 28 episodes.
I'm 17 out of 28 so far on that. But I'm also in the middle of... Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian, Dark Gathering, Delicious in Dungeon, the Hashira training arc for Demon Slayer. I started I'm in Love with the Villainess, and then and VTuber Legend. VTuber Legend is freaking great.
I still have 3 whole seasons of My Hero Academia to catch up on.
Oh, I haven't even started the new season yet. I have, that's my current watch list, but I also have a handful of shows from last year that I never finished, like Jujutsu Kaisen. I still haven't watched Oshinoko. The second seasons for Vinland or To Your Eternity or Magus Bride. There's too many. There's too many shows. And then I have a whole running list of current stuff to try and see if I could watch. Because, dubbies are a thing that exists.
Right. Anyways, Leah Clark is Mizuki.
There's not enough time. There's not enough time in the world. Yes, Mizuki. We're getting off track quite a bit. Again, we're making good time. I think we're okay. We're okay. Like, we only have one group left after this, and that's it. But no, I also like Leah Clark. She definitely takes on the mentor role very, very well. And she doesn't play around either. It's a lot of fun. I think one of the early instances where you learn Mizuki's the real deal is her match with I forget the character's name, but it's the biker looking girl from the League of Evil.
Mm-hmm.
Where Mizuki's just taking a beating, but she's also just biding her time the whole time, making it look like she's not gonna get out of it and she's not gonna win the match, and then she just gets out of it and then kicks so much ass. And that's the instant that you learn that Mizuki is the real deal. Like, you learn, and and Sakura learns that Mizuki is the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's after that where Sakura's like, hey, can you teach me? Please teach me. Because Sakura's on her losing streak by this point, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah. Leah, I love Leah. I love Leah in this. I think we need more roles where Leah Clark is a badass. That's just me. A badass, but not crazy.
Right.
Because you can argue kind of to an extent that Toga and maybe Hummingbird are badasses, but they're crazy as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Blair is up there, though, I think.
Okay.
Blair is kind of a badass. And then you have Kanzaki, who is the sweetest cinnamon roll in Assassination Classroom, who can do no wrong. And you must protect this sweet, sweet child. You must protect all of the kids in Class E. They are sweet, sweet children. Except for Karma. Karma's a little shit gremlin, but we love him anyway.
Yep.
Oh, Karma. Is there anything else about these four, or do we want to move on to the last set of characters?
I think we're good to go talk about our main duo.
Mm-hmm. Alright. Sakura Hagiwara and Elena Miyazawa. These are our two, effectively our two leads. Argument can be made Elena might not necessarily the lead, but she's like the other major character of the entire show. Both of these ladies are in Sweet Diva. Again, they go on a job. Elena trash talks pro wrestling. Rio hands her ass to her. Sakura decides to get revenge. She gets her ass handed to her. And then she decides, I'm going to be a pro wrestler and get my revenge. So here we are. And Elena gets to take over as the lead vocalist for Sweet Diva. Now, these two lovely ladies also have a rivalry that kind of comes to a head at the end of the show. Because remember how I said Jury is also known as the Blue Panther, kind of? It's actually Elena who is the Blue Panther. And is the one who's trying to challenge Sakura in order to bring her back to Sweet Diva by force. As for our two lovely ladies who are voicing these characters as Elena, we have Monica Rial. She has voiced characters such as Chane LaForet in Baccano, Emma Guzman in Garo the Animation, and Midi in Made in Abyss. And as for Sakura Hagiwara, I will say this is a pseudonym for this individual. We're going to go by that pseudonym for today's conversation. It's Elizabeth Lewis. You will know her as voicing characters such as Maya Fey in Ace Attorney, Yuzu in Konohana Kitan, and Ruka... Oh, god damn it, I hate this last name. Ruka Urishibara in Steins Gate. So...
I'm gonna make the joke, Stephanie.
Thank you for telling me so I didn't take a sip of water. Go ahead.
I hope Sakura doesn't have to go to Red Lobster because she is not a fan of Crab Fest.
At least she has a couple of cheddar biscuits though to go to consume. God damn it. You wanted to make that joke so bad.
Yeah.
We were chatting yesterday, and you made the joke. You're just like, I'm making a lot of Red Lobster puns. I swear to God, I will be. Oh,
yeah,
man.
She got put in so many Boston crabs, she developed a shellfish allergy.
least it's not an Alaskan crab. I hear that's 10 times worse.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny though that the show's own logic. The show breaks its own rules. We see it over and over again. She gets put in a leg lock. She grabs the rope, and then the wrestlers just pull her off of the rope and ignore it. But suddenly in episode 6, she grabs the rope, and from then on out, they actually adhere the rule. It's the dumbest thing of this show.
I feel like the whole point for that, just to counter argue it, she doesn't have a firm grasp on the rope. She barely gets to it before she gets pulled away. So I think the argument there is, for the sake of the story, is to get her close but not quite there.
Well, see, in the wrestling
Which is
rules,
silly.
the wrestling rules, if you touch the rope, even with your foot, or even in the show, she touches it with her head once, that they're supposed to let you go.
She bit the frickin' rope.
Yeah.
Didn't she? No, she didn't bite the rope. She just stuck her head out of there, right?
Right.
Because so long as any part of your body ends up outside of the ring, then you're good.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jesus. I'm still stuck on the Boston Crab puns right now. Anyway, any other puns? You got any more?
If I think of any more, I will say them.
Okay.
But
Who do you want to talk about first?
let's talk about Elena and Monica first, because she doesn't have as much screen time. She is really into her rivalry with Sakura, both as a pop idol and a wrestler. And I think she has sort of like an unhealthy obsession almost.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because from the beginning you see that Elena is trying to outdo Sakura as an idol, but then the second that Sakura's gone, she, from what the show kind of shows us, she loses her drive and her motivation because her rival's not there.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, you're right, it turns to a very unhealthy obsession to the point where Elena decides, I'm gonna become a wrestler and I'm gonna force her to come back. Because it's my fault that she left Sweet Diva to become a pro wrestler anyway.
Yeah.
So it's my responsibility to bring her back to Sweet Diva. Yeah, it's very unhealthy.
It's sort of like, hey, I'm number one, not because I earned it, but because my rival dropped out. Sort of like an Endeavor All Might situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very good comparison.
Like,
granted, My Hero is a little bit of a better show, but that comparison still stands.
Like Endeavor was angry
when... He was pissed that All Might got forced to retire, and then now all of a sudden he gets to be number one, but he didn't become number one by his own merits, is what he wanted, and by being the best. He became number one because the actual number one couldn't do it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So the story is, the context is different, but the idea is the same.
Right. But anyways,
So,
in her, she doesn't have a whole lot of screen time. She has more than others, but Monica is just a legend at this point. She can basically do no wrong. She gets into the booth and does her thing, and it always works.
Yeah, Monica is a goddamn legend. This is like bread and butter for her, because she's been across the spectrum with characters. Whether it's cutesy moe types, badasses, whether it's sultry, whether it's quiet. Like, I'm staring at the 3 that I picked, like, for credits here. Mm-hmm. Like Chane from Baccano, very soft-spoken. You have Emma, who's this sultry woman who's also a badass. And let's not even, like, there's a few other roles that we haven't brought up. There's Michiko Melandro, who's a freaking badass. And then you have the fun ones like Suyu from My Hero. You have
Moa from Show by Rock.
Like,
Alien Sheep.
She's played them all. Alien Sheep. An Alien Sheep drummer for the band. But no, like, I think Monica was... I want to say Monica was fine here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, so I think it's more to do with the show.
Yeah.
Than anything. And I think it also has more to do with Elena as a character than anything.
Yeah.
The performance was fine.
It's a
Elena.
paycheck.
It's a paycheck. That's exactly what this is. This is a paycheck performance, but it's not Monica's fault. It's more the show and the character that she has.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because Monica nails it pretty much every single time. This is just one of those rare instances where it's like, oh, Monica's here. Okay.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it, I think, comes down to how problematic of a character Elena can be. And because of that unhealthy obsession she has with beating Sakura. To the point where she does start training in secret to be a pro wrestler, and then she tries to force Sakura to leave the world of pro wrestling and come back to Sweet Diva because Elena has lost her motivation because she doesn't have her rival there. And at the end, Jackal Tojo comes in and is like, why don't you do both? She says it not only to Sakura, but to Elena as well. Because Elena has... Actually, we've come to find out, Elena has this raw talent to her. And could actually make it as a pro wrestler if she wanted to. But yeah, no, Monica's fine. This is... She's not it's not like a phone-in performance. It's a paycheck performance. I feel like there's a difference between the two. Because Monica does give it her all for this character. 100%. But I feel like Elena as a character and the show itself, the material itself, kind of doesn't do much to help Monica enhance the performance, to be honest. It's just fine to me.
Yeah.
She does have the screams though.
Yeah. Speaking of screams,
not as much as Elizabeth, but
speaking of screams, Jesus Christ. Sakura. That woman has to have some.
Let's talk about Sakura.
That woman at this point has to have some nods on her vocal cords.
Oh my god. Like, it sometimes gets to the point where it's like, oh my god, I hope she didn't blow her vocal cords out.
Yeah.
That's how much screaming Sakura does in the whole show. And
it's a very specific type of screaming because they're going for this lowbrow audience who are into that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations where it's like you're again, you were saying yesterday, like, you forgot how and again,
it's torture porn.
Yeah, this is what it is. Like, Sakura Hagiwara is the one who deals with this the most. Which means Elizabeth Lewis gets a lot of screaming in. She has to, like, push her voice out there, like, screaming, like, cries of pain, the whole 9 yards. I feel like Elizabeth Lewis handles Sakura pretty well, despite, like, all of the vocal challenges that she had to go through in order to pull this off.
Yeah.
And then let's not forget the amount of Red Lobster that Sakura probably will not be getting or going to. Man, that girl just keeps falling for the same fucking trap every time. Boston Crab. Whoops.
Yep.
But no, it's...
And there's so many shots of ass in this show, you could call them crab cakes.
Ass, crotch. There's a lot of fucking crotch shots, too, for this show.
Good lord of the camel toe. You'd think we were in the Sahara.
Listen, there are people who are thirsting in that Sahara Desert. We're not two of them, but there are people who are thirsting in that Sahara Desert. Goddamn.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God. Ladies and gentlemen, can you tell this show is not specifically geared for us?
This show is kind of dumb.
This show is very fucking dumb. I know, like, Elizabeth Lewis does fine for what she has with Sakura. For realsies.
Yeah. And,
again, there are moments where it's like, I worry about her blowing out her vocal cords. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's a lot of screaming. That's a lot of screaming.
Mm-hmm.
In matches, in sparring, there's the 100 throws she has to fucking go through.
Mm-hmm.
You can say similar to some of the other girls in this, but Elizabeth had to go through the most.
Right.
At the same time, though, Sakura has... I think I kind of mentioned this with Moe a little bit, because Sakura and Moe can be a little bit similar when they're starting out. Sakura has this naivete to her as well, starting out, because she doesn't... Similar to Elena, she doesn't understand what pro wrestling actually is. But the more Sakura gets, like, into this world, the more she learns and she forms a new opinion about the whole thing, where she's like, okay, I'm here for it. I understand. I'm going for it.
Mm-hmm. This is my jam now.
This is my jam.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hot damn. This is my jam. Sorry. I got Florida in my head now. God damn. Oops. Anyway.
Shorty had them apple-bottom jeans.
Huh?
Shorty had them apple-bottom jeans.
Boots with the fur.
Yeah.
The fur. The whole club's looking at her. The whole ring's looking at Sakura. That's for fucking sure.
Oh yeah.
We got the crab meat. We got the crab cakes. We got the cheddar biscuits. What else we got? How many more seafood and red lobster puns can we make, ladies and gentlemen? How many more can we make in this, at least in this one segment?
Not enough to keep us financially stable, apparently.
I may never financially recover from this. Oh, fuck yeah. Sorry. Now
Support your local Red Lobster, people. Everyone.
Andrew, oh my god. When we learned that Red Lobster was filing, I think they're filing bankruptcy, I think, right?
They are.
Yeah. When we learned about that, Andrew's like, before they fully close down, can we get some boxes of the cheddar biscuit mix? Because he loves the Red Lobster cheddar biscuits. I'm like, okay, babe. We haven't gotten any yet, but I'm like, all right. I think we're good for a while though. I think they'll be open for a little bit longer. He's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the first week after I found out that they were filing for bankruptcy, I called up Beth and Katie. I'm like, hey, you want to do Red Lobster for game night tonight?
Pour one out for Red Lobster. Oh, God.
But anyways, yes, Elizabeth did a great job on this otherwise rather lowbrow show. It may be, I can understand why she'd go through an alias, because I wouldn't really want my name attached to a product like this. Just saying.
Yep.
And considering she was the lead and her name was going to be all over it, they even called her that name in the commentary on the disc. They made sure that they didn't leak it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by that. Because no, like, Elizabeth and then one other person went under aliases, and that's the owner of the Berserk Gym, Inoba. That would be David Thompson, I believe.
Even though David is his real first name, he just changed his last.
Just changed his last name, yeah, David Thompson. If you know, you know. But no, yeah, like, compared to all the other girls in this show who didn't go by an alias, 100% I can understand why Elizabeth Lewis did what she did. Because if anyone's going to be exploited and pushed to pushed through so much in the show, it's Sakura Hagiwara. She's put in so many different positions, it's not even funny, and no, they are not sex positions, ladies and gentlemen, they are just... You could mistake them for sex positions, potentially, if you really wanted to, which is probably the point. Again, yeah, this is a lowbrow show.
Yes, this is very much a Riona show. If you don't know what that is, it's basically showing girls in various degrees of distress, if I should put it that mildly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. Which Sakura gets put through the ringer multiple times.
I can say this.
We said 65 losses before she beat Rio again, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I will say this about the show going into final thoughts. At least it's not freezing. Freezing was terrible.
I've never watched Freezing.
I-
I've never watched Freezing, and I don't plan to.
Yeah, I don't like it. But
Oh boy.
do I recommend you watch this show? There's fun to be had, but the subject matter is very lowbrow. The animation is not great.
No.
This was Studio Arms
it's-
at their worst. And that's
Yeah,
saying
the
something.
Studio,
R.I.P.
forgot what
Arms.
else Studio Arms made. I
They
forgot what Studio Arms made.
Icky Tosin and Queen's Blade among them.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Arms did a lot of hentai in their early days. In fact, they're the ones who did Kite and Mezzoforte.
Oh.
Mhm.
Kite. Oh yeah, Kite got fucking license rescued. Holy
Mhm.
shit.
Oh, it's the
That's
uncut international and censored versions. They won't.
No, that in and of itself is crazy.
They won't sell it on Crunchyroll because it is technically hentai. I've seen.
Wow, so we'll have to sell it.
I've seen Kite uncensored.
They'll have
Yes,
to
it
sell it
is. I've seen Kite uncensored. It is very much 100% hentai in certain scenes.
I've never seen Kite before.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen it. Probably because I'm like, I feel like I'm not gonna like it because it is full of hentai aspects to it.
It's not that it does have some hentai scenes, but it's mainly because of the violence. It's very gory.
Right. Oh, Arms did Elfen Lied.
Yes, they did.
Yep.
Mhm.
Queen's Blade, Iki Tosin, Aesthetica of a Rogue Hero.
We don't talk
a
about
recent
that
one.
show. We don't.
Malyu, Arch Enemy and Hero.
I heard that one was actually pretty good.
I did too. I did forgot to finish it. Wanna Be the Strongest, Wizard Barristers, Brynhilde in the Darkness, Isuka, Valkyrie Drive Mermaid,
Yep.
and the last show that they did looks to be Shin Ikitosen in 2022.
Yep.
Whoops.
Talk about a
Yeah,
legacy.
and then Kite Liberator. Oh yeah.
Shh. Not
What a legacy.
both to be proud of and ashamed of. Oh, Arms,
Well,
we
someone
hardly knew ye.
Well, credit where credit is due. They definitely went for the stuff that nobody else was gonna fucking touch. So,
Hmm.
credit where credit's due, I guess. But anyway,
So we're moving on to final thoughts.
I thought you were still going into your final thoughts.
Oh yeah. Oh, do I recommend that you watch this show? Do what you like if you've got a few hours to waste. You know, the dub is good. It is. Just make sure that you watch it in the house alone.
Yep. For sure. I made the mistake of, cause, when we watch shit on Crunchyroll, you have to turn the volume up to hear things a little better. I made the mistake of having the volume a bit more up for the first episode and completely forgot what the show was. And I'm like, I'm not gonna scare the neighbors.
Yeah.
Let me not scare the neighbors.
At least you won't scare Andrew. He's into that
man.
shit.
He wasn't home. He has not been home since I watched it.
Oh,
honestly.
okay.
Because I've been watching it I've pretty much been watching it every single night when he's away at work. Just like a few episodes at a time, and I just finished the last 3 today. Yeah, he was home Tuesday because I was homesick Tuesday, and I was like, I should watch at least a little bit more of the show, so I'm in a good place and make sure I finish in time for today. But no, he hasn't seen the show as far as I know. Oh God. Are you good with your final thoughts?
I'm done with mine.
I am a sadomasochist, and I put us through this horseshit. Oh God, no! This, as fucked up as this show is, I'm actually kind of glad we got to revisit it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie to you, because, like, folks at home, we here at Dub Talk try to discuss and talk about a lot of really, really good English dubs. The ones that have phenomenal performances, the ones that will tell a great story, have characterization and character development. This isn't one of them. This is one of the few times where we willingly go into the trash pile. And it's not even a ladies' night or Valentine's Day episode.
Yeah.
This is one of the times we willingly go into the trash pile.
This was just an excuse for us to get together a second time, just the two of us.
No, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah. And, like, because I threw the offer out there to see if anyone would be daring enough to join us, and nobody volunteered. So I'm like, fuck it, it's you and me then. It's you and me, Hardy. We're in this together. This horseshit, almost 10 years later. Anyway, but there's no one I'd rather do this stupidity with than you. Anyway,
I am honored.
We do this to ourselves. Anyway, oh god.
That means if there ever is eventually a School Days dub.
No, 100%. That's gotta be you and me. Like, we gotta get the other end of the spectrum here. I forgot. We're going off another tangent. Cause Zen was part of Ultimate Otaku Teacher too. What did we give her, even though she wasn't originally part of the wager?
I don't remember. I completely forgot.
Oh, I'll have to dig it up later. Yeah, because she wasn't part of the wager originally, but then we were like, hey, like, when we were settling up at the end of that episode, we were like, do you want us to give you something to watch? And she's like, yep. I'm like, okay. I forgot what we gave her. I'll look later. Anyway, I'll look later, and I'll probably post, for the YouTube version, I'll probably post an image of what it was. Anyway, so, want to be the strongest in the world is absolute garbage in a dumpster set on fire 5 times over, and that dumpster is rolled off a cliff and probably starting a forest fire while we're at it. That's the level we're at, guys. But the dub for this show is fine. It's okay. You're not gonna get high quality out of the show, but the dub at least, like, is serviceable enough that you can tolerate most of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And because I liked the direction was fine, even though there was some stiff and stilted performances. The writing was, I thought the writing was one of the best parts, because of the levels of melodrama and the trash talk just kind of made for this fun culmination. And if you are a fan of pro wrestling and the melodrama from that, you're gonna like the script of the show. Okay? Because it's probably something that you're relatively used to. Performances themselves are mixed. But we're talking about a very fan service show.
I think I can.
Do I reckon?
I think I can sum it up in one phrase that I like to use for shows like this.
Okay.
You'll hate yourself, but you'll laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I certainly hate myself after this one. Again, I am a sadomasochist. And like to torment both other people and myself sometimes. Mm-hmm. But I digress. Is this a show that I would recommend? It depends on the audience. Mm. If you are a relatively normal anime watcher, you're probably, if you're a normal anime watcher but also loves dumpster fire trash, have at it.
Yeah.
Have at it.
And if you're a horny pervert, you've probably already watched it by now. You probably own it on Blu-ray.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You probably own.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jamal has a copy.
Hardy.
I love you, Jamal.
Oh, no. Shit. No, if you are into this sort of thing, you probably both have already watched it by now and probably have the original standard release that came out in like 2015.
I think it got an LE.
Not this. It might have.
I gotta look.
Oh
this
my
up.
god, I think it did.
Because back then they were giving everything.
Please, They were giving everything LEs, yeah, like bare bones LEs, but they were giving everything LEs. And I think it ended up on the save label, Funimation save label later on.
Essentials, actually.
Well, save label first and then Essentials. But I think you're right, I think it did have an LE. Which is one of the weird cases of a show getting an LE.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right, it's around the time when Funimation was giving almost everything an LE at that point. God. But no, if you are either a horny pervert, no offense, or into jumping, or you're a sadomasochist like myself and like to jump into the burning trash pile every once in a while, you're probably gonna find some amount of enjoyment from the show.
Mm-hmm. You'll hate yourself, but you'll laugh.
If you're neither of those, you'll hate yourself, but you'll laugh. If you're neither of those, you're not gonna get any enjoyment of the show. But the dub itself is, I think, serviceable enough, even 10 years later. I think it's serviceable enough that if you do want to jump into that trash pile, you'll be perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. If you want to watch the dub for Wanna Be the Strongest in the World, realistically, there's really only two ways to do it. It is available for streaming on Crunchyroll. Again, Funimation formerly had the license before they merged with Crunchyroll. Rest in peace, Funimation, we miss you. But it is available on Crunchyroll, but I will make a note here. Something that we did not discuss throughout the course of this episode, there is an OVA for Wanna Be the Strongest in the World. That OVA is not available for streaming on Crunchyroll.
You have to buy that on Blu-ray.
Available to my knowledge. Correct. It's only available to our knowledge on the home video release, which you can get through your various home video license providers. The show is also available, I will say, on Amazon Prime, but I did do a little digging, and Prime actually will divert you to the Crunchyroll site instead of having it on Prime itself. Yeah, no, it was very weird. I went on there, I was like, oh, it's on Prime, let me take a look. And then I tried clicking, I think, on like the first episode, but it diverted me over to Crunchyroll, which was very weird. So it sounds like either way, you would need to watch it on Crunchyroll. That might be the only avenue to watch it. I don't know if Prime members get anything special because they're Prime members, though. But if you want to watch the show on Crunchyroll, they do, I believe, have a 14-day free trial if you wanted to test out their services. Or ad-free services, I should say. As per usual, if you do not want to keep the subscription service, you can cancel, I would say cancel credit card information, because they will start charging your account at the end of the trial. But Crunchyroll is also available for free with ads if you wanted to go that route. Just please note, with Wanna Be the Strongest in the World, it is listed as a mature title. I found this out because for some reason my profile on Andrew's Crunchyroll account was not set to allow watching of mature titles, and I had to go into settings to fix it because they wouldn't let me watch it because of it. So I don't know if you'll be able to 100% watch Wanna Be the Strongest in the World without a subscription, just as a fair warning. If you want to catch anything that we here at Dub Talk do, you are either probably chilling with us either on YouTube, where the video versions of the episodes live, or you might be listening to us on either Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Podbean, which the audio-only versions live. If you want to keep up with us on social media, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr is dead. We are also on Blue Sky and Twitch, all of which are at Dub Talk Podcast. If you want to support us in another capacity, we do have a Ko-fi account where you can make small one-time donations to help us continue what we do. Or if you want to help us in another way and show your support for more long-term, you can become a member of our Patreon, where you can get fun little rewards at different tiers, including shout-outs like we will be doing on today's episode. I'm sorry, guys, that this was a thing today, but I like tormenting myself and Hardy sometimes. And we needed something fun to do. So we have to send a huge thank you to our patrons. In our $5 tier, we have Marissa Lenti, Megan's mom and dad, and Michelle Travis. And in our $10 tier, it's Anthony Brown, Carly Lesticow, Crimson Echidna, Julia W., Quinoa Soup, and Otaku Anthony. You are all fantastic human beings. I hope you enjoyed the stupidity that is us talking about this show. I'm sorry, also not sorry. If you want to check out anything that Hardy does, he is on Twitter and Blue Sky at SpacemanHardy. You're still a moderator on the Crunchyroll Discords, or no? I can't remember nowadays.
Nope,
not a mod.
Nope.
But you're just chilling.
Yeah. No, I retired from it. I am not doing that anymore. Yep, I do not have the. It's
That's
not.
A lot of.
It was not good for my blood pressure at all.
Based on experience, it is never good for anyone's blood pressure. God, I'm happy you're no longer a mod. I'm not gonna lie to you. Anyway, and if you want to follow anything that I do, you can follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Lilac Anime Review. Review being spelled REVUE. And because we're recording this in August, this episode's gonna be a hot minute because we're still in the middle of Summer at the Movies. To which, if you haven't checked out Season 8 of Summer at the Movies, I highly encourage you to do. Hopefully, by the time this episode comes up, now that we have our office and our new apartment majority of the way set up, I want to go back into streaming, but I think I want to do solo streaming. So you can follow me, if you want, on my Twitch channel, Lilac Anime Review, and oh my god, you found it!
I have no idea what the extras were, but it was there.
The LE existed for Wanna Be the Strongest in the World. There was an LE release for this trash pile. You're welcome. Do with that knowledge as you would, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway. But no, if you want to follow me on social media, or hopefully by the time this goes up, I kind of start doing solo streams on Twitch. But we'll find out. We still gotta set up a couple things. But anyway, thank you guys for jumping into the trash pile with us today. And thank you, Hardy, for humoring me in this crazy adventure. Because we love torturing ourselves with stupidity.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Neither would I. With that, thank you guys for hanging out with us and joining us. And we will see you next time. Until then, otaku on, my friends.
Keep it manly.
I want some cheddar biscuits now.
I want some cheddar biscuits now, heck.
I want cheddar biscuits, goddamn.